10 years ago, Elias and Sarah sat on the floor of a cramped studio apartment, sharing a single pizza and a massive dream. They made a pact. They would conquer the corporate world together. Elias was a brilliant structural engineer, and Sarah was a firebrand in marketing. But as the years rolled by, the strategy shifted. They realized that for one to soar, the other had to hold the line. Elias took a stable, high-paying consultancy role. It wasn't glamorous, but it was the bedrock. He managed the $1.2 million mortgage, the offshore investments, and the mundane logistics of a high-profile life. While Elias was ensuring the foundation was solid, Sarah was ascending. She became the youngest senior VP in her firm's history. Her life became a blur of private jets, gala dinners, and late-night strategy sessions. The shift was subtle at first. Sarah stopped asking about Elias's day. When they sat for dinner, on the rare nights she was home, she was glued to her encrypted work phone. Elias noticed the changes. The scent, a heavy, expensive cologne that wasn't his, lingered on her silk blazers. The security, she changed her phone passcode, a code that had been their anniversary for a decade. The distant look, she looked at Elias not as a partner, but as a piece of furniture, reliable, but unremarkable. Elias tried to bridge the gap. He planned a surprise weekend getaway to the Maldives. Sarah canceled it at the last minute, citing a merger crisis. That was the night Elias saw the first crack, a notification on her tablet that read, "I miss the way you look at me in the boardroom. Can't wait for Friday." Elias didn't explode. An engineer doesn't panic when he sees a crack. He investigates the structural integrity. He hired a private investigator, not out of spite, but out of a desperate hope that he was wrong. He wasn't. Sarah was involved with Julian, a high-level executive at a rival firm. But the affair wasn't the worst part. While Elias was doing the taxes and ensuring their joint future was secure, Sarah was meeting with a top-tier divorce attorney. The investigator recovered a digital exit strategy document. Sarah planned to claim that Elias had become financially stagnant and unsupportive, aiming to keep the house he had painstakingly paid off and leave him with the remnants of a life he built for her. She was waiting for the Q4 bonuses to hit their joint account before serving him the papers on their 11th anniversary. The betrayal stung like acid, but Elias realized that while Sarah was an expert at the big picture, he was the master of the fine print. For the next 3 weeks, Elias played the role of the doting, oblivious husband. He cooked her favorite meals. He listened to her talk about her stressful days. All the while, he was moving with surgical precision. 1. Asset separation. He discovered a clause in their prenuptial agreement regarding infidelity-based dissolution that Sarah had likely forgotten existed. 2. The paper trail. He documented every cent he had poured into her career, the tuition for her executive MBA, the debt he cleared for her parents, the household management. 3. The pivot. He moved the bulk of his personal liquid assets into a protected trust he de-established years prior. The night of their anniversary, Sarah came home late, rehearsing her "we need to talk" speech in her head. The house was dim, lit only by candles. A single folder sat on the mahogany dining table. "Elias?" she called out, her voice rehearsed and cold. "I have something to tell you." Elias stepped out from the shadows, calm and composed. "I know, Sarah. You're leaving. You've been leaving for months." He pushed the folder toward her. It wasn't a gift. It was a preemptive filing. "I've already moved my things," Elias said quietly. "The PI reports, the photos of you and Julian at the Pierre Hotel, and the logs of every mortgage payment I made while you were out buying power suits are all with the judge. I've also filed a conflict of interest report with your board, since Julian works for your direct competitor." The look on Sarah's face wasn't sorrow. It was the shock of a predator realizing they'd walked into a cage. Sarah's high-profile life began to fray. The scandal of the affair with a competitor cost her the executive seat she sacrificed her soul for. Elias, on the other hand, walked away with his dignity and the assets he had earned. He realized that a marriage is like a building. You can have the most beautiful glass skyscraper in the world, but if you rot the foundation, the whole thing eventually comes crashing down.